You're watching Explore Tulsa.
Well, I've been in the kitchen since I was like 4 years old, and that wasn't really, I was not cooking then. Mainly I was eating after what my mom was making in the kitchen. And then one day she's like, you really need to do something productive here. So I started helping her out by mixing salad, washing vegetables. I was 4, I was a toddler. And so that's when I really just fell in love with the process of cooking and really working with food and sort of learning how this vegetable or this mix of vegetables can turn into this salad or this other dish. And so that's really where my love of food came from. And so from that age on, I was, and some sweet potato, forgot about that. From then on, I was in the kitchen a lot more. And so over the years, my mom started teaching me more techniques like sauteing and roasting and baking. And so then by the time I was 8 years old, I could actually make a meal. And granted at the time, it was meatloaf as my entree and a summer salad, which has hearts of palm in it, so. First I started off with my cooking show, which was Cook Time with Remmi, and that was just based out of my kitchen, web series, very hobby-ish at first, but then we got sponsorships, we got partnerships, and it wasn't a hobby anymore. And then Chef Club Box is actually a meal kit subscription box where we deliver local ingredients that are kid-friendly recipes. We really want to focus it on the kid aspect and really empowering them to get in the kitchen and take control. And so all of our recipes are very easy to follow. I have a video tutorial for them so they can follow it step by step, so that way they're not lost along the process. We're really trying to create this very supportive place where people who are just starting out in the kitchen can go to each other like, you know, I've tried this recipe, what do you think I should do? And so it's really I think it's sort of a hub for young chefs. That's how I like to think of it. So it's a very family-friendly box, and so all of our recipes, of course, are made that kids can make them, but also anyone at another age can make them as well. And they're really fun, and they're delicious, and they're healthy for you. So like, why not make them? My first one was called Global Cooking for Kids, and I actually took one country from each continent and then made a meal out of that country's cuisine. And my second cookbook is sort of an extension of that. We did 80 recipes. We call it taking a trip around the world in 80 recipes, you know, cute little cliche thing. And with that one, I actually was on Chopped, and so that publishing company also approached me after I was on Chopped. It was like, we think you'd be great to do this cookbook, and I was like, sounds like a good idea to me. And so that one also took about a year-ish in the process. And this one I think is a lot more interesting because not only do we have a lot more countries to cover, we only did like one dish per country, but I actually got to, with my last book with Antarctica, we did smoothies and soups, so it was like basic cold weather food. But on this one, I got to talk to a chef who was doing a research, actually no, she was doing a cleanup project on Antarctica. And so she lived there for 3 months. And so she wrote a book about it. And so after I read her book and then I emailed her, and so it was so amazing getting in contact with her, and I got to interview her, and I was like, oh, that's my favorite part of the book. So I'm really passionate about the box right now because a lot of the time I've really been in a more service-based industry with the TV show and doing cooking appearances and doing speaking appearances, and I've had the cookbooks, of course, and like the recipe lines, but this is not really, they haven't really been something that I feel like actively like engage kids with food or cooking as much as I wanted to before. And so with this box, I feel like it's really pushing on that aspect because it has chef in the name, which also stands for cook healthy, exercise frequently, to embody the holistic, healthy lifestyle. As I said, it's kids that really matter to me, and so sort of having that moment where I see someone who has been looking up to me and sort of following my footsteps in the kitchen and proactively been doing that, it's a reward beyond, I don't know, like beyond words can say.